Hope you got your bookmarks ready because the first chapter of the LCS is in the books. Darin Kwilinski here with you in the ESPN Esports studio, and week one of the LCS has come and gone. There were some surprises and some not so surprising things to look at. So let's tag in Tyler Erzberger from the West Coast. Tyler, you were there. You witnessed the spectacle, the crowd, and the fandom, but you also witnessed Clutch and FlyQuest join Team Liquid at 2-0. Now, FlyQuest beat Optic and Golden Guardians, but Clutch took a game against TSM, so help me out. Who's the real deal here?
They could both be the real deal. When you look at Clutch and FlyQuest, they're kind of opposite of what their strengths are. They're a very talented team. They have players that can just take over games. Last week we saw Demonte kind of just jump into this, this new level of play that we didn't expect from someone who last year was, a middling mid laner. You have Piglet, a former world champion. You have Huni, who can pop off on any game. Lyra, who is the former best jungler in the league. So even though they were kind of disjointed at parts and kind of had some sloppy plays, their talent kind of pushed them through their raw talent. FlyQuest, on the other hand, might not have the raw talent or any of these like big name carries, but they're all very good players. They're all players that know how to play the game, they know how to play together, and it's a 5-man unit playing as one. They're like the Power Rangers going into the Megazord. They know they're better when they're together. And FlyQuest might not have, the star power of Clutch Gaming, but they're also playing like a team that could upset and make a top 4 run. So the question is, who's the real deal? I think both teams are playoff teams at this point in time, and I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it up.
You get a double thumbs up from me, Tyler. Always happy to hear a Power Rangers reference, Red Ranger for life. Talking a big game over the weekend was 100 Thieves, but instead of a bang, they went out with a whimper at 0-2. How would you grade not only 100 Thieves, but Bang's performance?
Bang himself was very, very good. I would give him a B minus. He looked really comfortable in the bot lane, in the laning phase. The problem with the 100 Thieves is they have no synergy. The team looked like they had never played together before getting on the Rift. He had a very, very rough week 1, getting decimated in their second game of the week versus Cloud9, getting solo killed on Rise in the first, 4 minutes of the game. This team just doesn't look like they're on the same page. And I talked to a few players, in interviews, and a lot of them said that 100 Thieves might be the most overrated team in the LCS. Others do believe that with time they will get better, but it's a really difficult situation right now for 100 Thieves. Bang played very well, and they still lost in disappointing fashion. So if Bang's playing well and they're not, keeping off Bang, what really is the best case scenario for 100 Thieves? Someday needs to be better. He needs to be much better. Onda has to be the world's champion himself, where he had the 18 kills, I believe, in the group stages, and Afromoon needs to be the MVP like he was last year. If they can do that, sure, they could be a top 3 team, top 2 team, maybe make a run for the finals. But right now, this team, they just need to learn how to play together. Before you can run, you need to learn to crawl. And right now, 100 Thieves can't even crawl.
Reminds me a little bit when Piglet came over, world champion, and didn't really make an impact, that everyone thought that he would make. Let's move into the middle of the pack. Team Solo Mid. They got the W against 100 Thieves by taking 12 kills, 2 Barons, 3 Dragons, and 11 Towers, but took an L against Clutch. I want to talk about Broken Blade. His Scion and Aatrox held up well in the top lane. He was a big talking point coming into this season. Give me your insight onto him.
Broken Blade is a revelation. He's extremely good. He is as advertised, and he played probably the best top lane performance of the weekend. What it came down for TSM was that they just like last year weren't proactive enough with a lead. They should have been 2-0. They should be flying high. They should be the talk of the town. But because of their deficiencies in the late game when it comes to pushing a lead in the mid game and getting to that late game where you can just close the door, they let Clutch Gaming step back into the game, claw their way back, and eventually they lost. TSM, for the last few years, when they've had their biggest issues, is that they don't close the door. In the mid-game shot calling, in the mid-game objective control, they lose control. They can win the laning phase. They're all extremely talented. Broken Blade's amazing. Sven looks like his old self. Bjergsen's Bjergsen. He's won 100 MVPs. But TSM needs to fix that problem. If they don't get their objective shot calling, figured out, and they don't learn how to have that killer instinct. They need that killer instinct that make the great teams, the great teams. If you don't have a killer instinct, you're nothing. You're just a dog without a bite. So TSM, they need to learn how to close the door, and if they can do that, they'll be a top team in the league.
Sounds like Bjertsen has a little bit of work cut out for him and the team solo mid squad. Tyler Erzberger, always omnipresent at the LCS. For more League of Legends content, keep it locked right here on ESPN.com/esports.